Yeah, cheers, Daz. This week's one is Novocaine 2025. I'll just give for people at home, we're mainly going to do a spoiler-free part at the start, and then we will move on to spoiler town at the end. But we'll give you a fair warning. So this one, as I said, just came out this week or last week. This week, in Ireland, anyway. When the girl of his dreams is kidnapped, a man incapable of feeling physical pain turns his rare condition into an unexpected advantage in the fight to rescue her. So look, Daz, I'll just run through some of the director and writer stuff, and then get your overall opinion if you don't mind. So this one is written by Lars Jacobson, and I have actually seen one of the movies he's written because he's only done a few movies, and it was appalling. Day of the Dead Bloodlines, like fucking atrocious. This was directed by Dan Burke and Robert Olson. The only other thing I know them from is a movie called Villains. I'm not sure if you've seen that. Actually, quite funny. It's Micah Monroe, Bill Skarsgård, Kira Sedgwick. It's a bit of crack. And this one is starring Jack Quaid, Amber Midthunder, Ray Nicholson, Matt Walsh, Betty Gabriel, and Jacob Batalon. And I got budget of 18 million, which I think is reasonable.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. So look, before we get into the nitty gritty of it, let us know, Daz. What did you think? What were your overall views of this one?
I kind of enjoyed this. I thought it was pretty good, solid 3-star kind of movie. I thought it was a little bit more than the trailer kind of suggested. I thought it would just be, your run of the mill action kind of stock movie with, an interesting premise, and then it'll just play out quite blandly. But like in the fight scenes and choreography are pretty good and inventive. You kind of get a sense of that from the trailer. And the script, while not being incredible, is decent enough, apart from, I think we'll get into the last 15, 20 minutes of just utter nonsense that could do without that.
I think so. I think in general it was too long. Like, I think for a movie like this is your classic 90-minute movie. Like, this is the one you just fucking, you could easily bookend this. Just this way before you get into that last 50. You don't need those at the end of it.
It gets a bit silly, like, because you actually, like, story-wise, you don't need it's that extra. It's that, like, that kind of 80s action movie. Are they dead? Oh, it's another scene or whatever. But in those movies, that other scene comes at around 75 minutes, and it pads it out to 90 minutes. But in this, you're kind of ready to go home. You're like, okay, this is kind of cool. And then that last 10, 15 is like, well, not been shit. It's just like, it's just too long. Like, but like the premise is kind of cool. They don't overdo it with the gore. They don't make it too fucking crazy off the wall. Like, he still can die. There's not moments when you're going, that is ridiculously implausible. But when they do it, no, I mean, like, they don't overdo it too much. It doesn't become like, oh, this is the only one trick and outstays its welcome. When they do it, and there are moments in this where you're just like, oh, that's fucking brilliant. Like, it's just.
But how many takes?
The makeup team is amazing. Like,
well, that's the thing for the makeup team, and not only that, like, but for Jack Quaid, like, he's doesn't feel pain, so he doesn't know to flinch. So that the many takes they have to get, some of the punches, you see him, like, he's not reacting to fists flying towards him and stuff. The way to be able to do that and be on the ground, I'm just almost like, because you're not down because you've been feeling pale and you're hurting yourself. You're down because the physical force put you there.
Reacting to
but so just to keep that kind of straight face in some of these action scenes, I thought was was fantastic.
Really good.
Yeah.
And like, there's one moment when he's trying to talk to somebody while being punched, and he doesn't break. There's no break in the sentence. He's just like, I want to. Come on. It's just really clever. But like, a lot of it, I think, for me, comes down to Quaid and Midthunder's chemistry, and for such a little setup, it's serviceable enough, and you believe it enough that you believe he would do what he's doing in the movie because of their relationship, and it does enough. But I think it's mainly, it rests on Jack Quaid and how he kind of gets across that it's not just, oh, I'm doing this because I fancy this chick. It really is that, like, oh my god, she could change his life because he's a loner and doesn't fucking do any of this kind of stuff and doesn't socialize, and suddenly she's gonna maybe potentially opening his world to something greater. And he plays that well, and he's just fucking brilliant. I think he plays that everyday guy.
Yeah, he plays it so well. Like,
I
was actually going to ask you though, right? There's a point in the film where he's got the leather jacket on and the white vest. You know, he's got his tattoos, leather. And I thought to myself for a second, do you know what? He would be fantastic Max Payne. If they didn't there's just a scene towards the end when he's walking in. I was like, he would be great idea. He would be great if they remade Max Payne,
because he has that look with his fucking hair and his face.
Yeah,
anyway.
Whereas the Mark Wahlberg one sucked ass. Like where they did like the like this. I thought he was just looking like, God, yeah, he'd be awesome as that.
That's such a good. That's a good idea, man.
But he's great,
he's so
and I
good.
loved. Yeah, maybe we'll just start there and just have a chat about the performances. Like I know Amber Midthunder from a few different things. As I said, she's in Prey and she's in what is it called, Legion as well. But in Legion, I didn't think the performance was that amazing. It's I thought she can be a little bit wooden at times and stuff, but then she just seems to get better and better. But in this, I thought she was fantastic, man. I was
so good. Yeah,
I was absolutely besotted with her. I thought she was just brilliant.
And from her first entrance, when she doesn't say anything, you just like. Just eats up the screen, just going, she's fucking cool. And it's just perfect casting. We said about Fassbender and Blanchett last week, and then the week before, how you get it wrong in Electric State. But like the casting, just the chemistry is just there straight away.
Yeah.
When they even just with their awkward chats to each other, it's just like, it's just fantastic.
And what about Ray Nicholson? I think for him, I want to see him in a dramatic role because I've only seen him in this and that fucking that one I watched the other day with Samara Weaving and then Smile 2. And so he's playing like an absolute lunatic in everything I've seen him. So I really want to see him. I really want to see him in something else.
You'd hope he doesn't get typecast as that, the kind of crazy, loony, villainesque. But he does so much with admittedly very little. But I thought he was fucking excellent because
he's great and funny as fuck as well. Though.
Yeah, he's using the dialogue and using the script brilliantly. And he's just the little kind of throwaway stuff in the script when he's just later on in the movie when something happens and he's like, oh really, no way, and just kind of laughs to himself. But just it's really funny. Where anyone else would just be, this is fucking henchman number 2 kind of fucking dialogue, But I'd love to see him in something really fucking dramatic and let him go.
Yeah, me too.
Go fucking full on, he's
and
class.
the supporting cast around him is fine as well. I mean, I would like to see more Matt Walsh. For those of you at home, it's the funny comedian actor Matt Walsh and not the Bell End fucking whatchamacallit guy from fucking YouTube.
Yeah.
I thought he's great. He has some great comedic lines. I would have liked to have seen even more of them or see more of their dynamic. The kind of the relationship between Betty Gabriel and him, as a little cop dynamic of him being just they
add enough to it. Yeah, stock characters, but they add a bit of something to it, which is nice. Which is fine,
and they don't overdo it. I don't need to get their background, of their fucking families and all the rest. You don't really need to get that. It's just how they go in the job. You get it almost straight from the start because you see Matt Walsh kind of when he shows up to the scene, which is obviously dead bodies or whatever it is. Like, it was going to be an easy one today. Your Mondays, there's dead people there, dude.
There's a line because the bank heist guys are dressed as Santa Claus because it's around festive period. But later on, when I think they find one of them and it's just like, is that one of our bank heist guys? She asks, and he's like, yeah, it is, because it'd be a real downer if it was Santa Claus.
The real Santa Claus, yeah. It'd be a bummer if it was the real Santa Claus.
And it's just fucking comedic gold in the middle of, this could have been any other scene, brilliant.
I think for overall performances are great. I think if we go back to the writing, the writing is fun. There's nothing really new apart from the gimmick of him having SEPA, which, and I hope anybody listening at home, we're not making light of it, of that condition, because they show little bits of how difficult it must be to live with that condition, but they barely touch on the surface. I mean, you had multiple times a day have to check all over your body. If you wake up in the morning, checking your gums, checking your teeth, checking everything. You're like, normal people feel pain inside and go, shit, I better go to the doctor. You just don't. That's why the life expectancy is so low. It's a very, very serious condition that they make light of in this. But we are going to joke about the funny parts of it. But that doesn't mean we're being ableist or anything. It's but they really do make it out as mostly being a very good thing, which I suppose is also nice. But it's some of the stuff around it, like you're saying, he's never eaten. You know, can't actually, well, he doesn't eat because he won't know if he bites his tongue or he does whatever. It's something so simple that you wouldn't even think of. Like, oh yeah, why would he? Like,
yeah.
It's
just got tennis balls in every corner. It's just like baby proof in the place. Like,
yeah, God, it must be such a difficult life. Fucking hell.
Yeah.
But I like the writing is fine. Like as I said, I only know Lars Jacobson from that one horror movie. So I don't think he didn't. No, there's nothing reinventing the wheel here. Like, and it's really, apart from that gimmick. I think apart from the gimmick of him having SEPA, it's not really much more different than, you know, run of the mill guy has to go and save the girl up against the odds, you know, against the bad guy. I mean, there's not really anything in here that's going to go wow. But the stuff they do, I think is done well. I agree with you. Absolutely. The choreography is great. And I didn't know that this whole thing was, or almost all of it, I think, was filmed in Cape Town.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I've never been to Cape Town, but I suppose that explains the tattoo artist later on is definitely from South Africa. Did you recognize any landmarks when you were watching it from your time you spent in Cape Town?
No. We were probably too inebriated to take anything in back in the day in Cape Town. But, the only thing I'd recognize now is just like, oh, Table Mountain. What's in Cape Town? No, not at all. But yeah, that's a fantastic scene with that. We get on to later with the tattoo artist. Like, there's like the best thing I think about this movie is that it's a lot of these movies are just tailored for, you know, you want to get to action scene, you know, to these fucking specific moments that that are the showcase moments. But everything in between is not just serviceable. It's not just getting you there. It's actually quite enjoyable to watch when it's not him fighting somebody or fucking smashing his thumb in half, or, you know, it's that's why I think the script it was much better than I expected it to be script wise. It just allows the characters in the cast, which is really good, to just have a bit of fun with it, which is fucking great. Like, and it turns it from like a 2.5 star thing to like 3.5 star strong movie. Like,
what did you think? Like for like cinematography wise and stuff, we don't really have any. Well, there is some outdoor shots, but a bit from car chases and stuff like that. But for the most part, it's him in different scenarios inside, whether he's inside the tattoo studio or he's inside the restaurant or whatever. What did you think of it from a directing point of view and a cinematography point of view?
It looks kind of nice. Like the cinematography and the action sequences is really, really done well. There's not too many cuts. It's kind of just shows you what you need to show. It's not trying to hide anything with, you know, MTV style cuts or anything like this. It kind of had an indie feel lighting wise in some of the locations, which I fucking love, rather than watching stuff that's 100 million and for some reason they just, if there's a lot of VFX in movies these days, there's no contrast in any lighting. I mean, it's not really interesting. Everything becomes very flat. But in this is like, it didn't draw any attention to itself, which is exactly what you want. Even in the action sequence, there wasn't any kind of gimmick camera work or anything like that, which they could have done. You know, a POV of somebody's wrist as it snaps or something like that. You could see somebody trying to do something inventive like that. But the camera just picks the right angle when there's very fucking awfully gruesome things. It's just like exactly where the camera, where you don't want it to be, because you see it a bit too, on the big screen. I was just like, oh, Jesus Christ, that's a bit close to his hand at that moment when something happens.
But I think I 100% agree. I think people really don't, you know, get how difficult it can be to record in small little spaces like that. Like, this is an actual restaurant. It's not a soundstage, and it's, you know, a lot of these the actual locations they filmed in. And I like you, there was nothing hidden. There was some great fucking shots. Some of those fights, like and even the slow motion shots when he's fighting the guy you see in the trailer with the glass on his hands, you know, as a nod to Bloodsport. This just I thought it was great, and I suppose I see that that 18 million seems well spent in that, you know, because we do get some great car chases. There is some great effects. The choreography is fantastic. I guess it's maybe, if anything, I think bar the gimmick, as I said, it is a little too run of the mill, I think, to call it a fantastic movie, and it's a little bit too long. Like, I think when you opened and you said 3 stars, like, I'd probably be there 3.5.
Really good 3 stars.
I you know what, I think probably if it was a little bit shorter, I'd probably go for the full 3.5 because it's enjoyable. But I would definitely recommend this one. Like it's a lot of fun to watch and really is. Jack Quaid just seems to be doing fantastic.
Was your cinema full when you watched it?
No,
yeah, me neither. And I've heard from people online that in a packed cinema, it's a movie that if you saw it, like even 20 people in the cinema, it would just be a much more fun experience, if that's the right way to say
it. Yeah.
No, I get that. It's quite funny, very funny at times, and very gruesome, and you'd get a lot of like, whoa, fuck, Jesus. But there was 2 people in my cinema, so it's.
Yeah, I'd seen mine in the afternoon as well. Wasn't expecting many people to be there. Like it was a Friday or Saturday. I watched it in the afternoon, so I wasn't expecting it to be lots of people there. But yeah, I get that. Movies like this, or there was one I saw with you, Jackass, when we saw it in IMAX, I think it was. Like that, having a bunch of people in the cinema, because I was physically convulsing, like fucking holding my own nuts, going, Jesus fucking Christ, like
that was an
and like that.
It's
it's great. When there's loads of people in there reacting to a movie like that, where there's so much insane action, it's great. And even just to call back to something you said at the start, as the makeup department, I'd have done an amazing job, because he is progressively getting more and more battered as the thing goes, as the movie goes on. You see in the trailer, he puts his hand into the oil thing to pull out the gun. He's got burns, he's got fucking stabs, and all sorts of different things have happened to him. And the continuity and the way they've done it is really well. And I think that he'd said that the movie itself was actually shot almost fully in order, which can be quite rare. A lot of times these things are shot out of order just for logistical reasons. But he was saying it kind of worked well that way, that it was shot pretty much in order, which is great. But no, like it definitely gets a recommend from me. Yeah,
absolutely, go see it. Thanks a million, as always, for your feedback and like and subscribing. If you're watching YouTube, subscribe, like the video, helps the algorithm and all that nonsense. But yeah, thanks a million, everybody, as always, and we will catch you next week. Ciao.
Take it easy.